What's up everybody? My name is Crabdash and today I thought I'd do something a little different. First, I wanted to use my camera more, and second of all, I thought I'd give you guys my opinion on the new test server patch notes. Overall, I feel like people are thinking this is one of the most controversial patch notes, but I feel as if these should not be. There are a couple things I really want to talk about, but let's dive straight into the elephant in the room, which is JAGER being changed from a 3-speed 1 armor to a 2-speed 2 armor. Alright, everyone is just freaking out about this. Everyone is complaining, they're bitching, right? I think that people have yet to realize that this is more of a buff to JAGER than a nerf, and I'll explain why. Now, if you think about it, JAGER, right, small build, right, small hitbox, so now he's going to have the same hitbox, same gun that does the same damage with more health. And now that he's slower, barely, right, he's like the same speed as like Thermite, now he's going to be forced to not roam too far, which is what was like Ubisoft's goal. Now he's going to only roam like near the OBJ, right? So now we have one of the two possible ARs on defense closer to OBJ with more health, right? I'm failing to see how this is a problem. This may be a problem for those who like abusing 3 speeds, right? Running around the map like crazy, but 2 speed is not much like slower, you know? And it's just like, this is more of a buff to me, and I don't know if I'm missing something, but overall, I mean, same AR, right? Same hard hitting gun, more health, small frame. It's a buff to me. The real nerf comes with Buck, right? He lost his grenades, right? Picture Buck, right? I'll put Buck right here. And grenades. They look perfect together. And I have no idea why Ubisoft would remove the two. Now, in my opinion, right, well, first of all, I'll let you know, I don't like Buck, right? I personally don't feel like I play well with Buck. And I feel like Buck, he has such a high skill cap, especially for newer players, right? You think just like, oh, it's just the underbarrel attachment from like COD, right? You have a shotgun, right? No. If you want to play Buck effectively, you have to know how to play vertical. You have to know how to play from above and from below. You have to know where all of the equipment usually lays, or where people usually lay, right? You have to know common like rotation spots from above and below. You know, it's just like, you have to know a lot to be a effective Buck player. And that's with like Sledge too, but Buck, I feel like it's a higher skill cap because not only you have to shoot out the floor, right? Once you spawn in, you got to drone out like above and below, depending on where you want to go, right? You're going to have to enter the room. You're going to have to buck the floor. You're going to have to look for people, you know? It's such a process, right? And if you die right from the start of the round, you have not influenced at all after your death, right? You have no influence, right? You are a solo operator. You are like a Blackbeard, right? You have your gadget on you that has nothing to do with anyone else. Thermite can pop his thermite and die, right? He has influenced the round for once that hole opens, the round is completely influenced no matter if he dies or if he stays alive, right? Once Buck is dead, you're on a 4v5 or you're on a whatever, right? Having grenades was like the trade-off for such a high skill cap, in my opinion. I mean, easily taking out an enemy or two, right? Even if you didn't know how to use Buck's utility to the best, you know, if you knew how to use grenades, then you could easily get a kill or two from either below or from just like chucking one into the OBJ, right? So now that he lost those, I feel like Buck is much less viable, especially over Sledge, who not only has his Sledge, right, which covers more area, L85, right, much more reliable gun in my opinion, and also he has grenades. So now Buck has definitely lost between the two, unless you just are a diehard Buck fan and have mastered the recoil on his gun. Next up is Ying, which I also found to be kind of interesting. I always thought Ying's gun was butt, right? That gun is actually butt, and I'm so glad that they are buffing it, right? It definitely needs that damage buff. However, right, I never thought that her Candelas were butt. I actually, after watching that Macy J How to Play Ying video, right, you realize like the Candelas are so overpowered in the fact that the point in which you throw them, it never changes no matter what objects it hits. So basically you can throw a candela into a room based off of just like how it rolls on the ground without actually going into the line of sight of the enemy. That is overpowered if you know how to use it right. Most people use candelas as you would use a regular flash, and that's where they fuck up. People need to learn how to use candelas like Macy J does and other pros do, right? But I feel like no one really had the urge to, not only because her gun wasn't as good, but it's just there wasn't a need and you only had 3. So I feel like Ubisoft is adding 4 just to let the community kind of drift towards Ying, learn how to use her candelas, and then they will eventually lower it back to 3, just so that now people know how to use them and now there's not too many. Because one candela can blind 5 people, right? One candela can blind the whole team in OBJ if used properly. So having 4 of those, you can blind them all 4 times, right? It's too much in my opinion. The smaller changes, Mozzie mains are a little butthurt. There is no super shorty anymore, no hatch rotations, no rotations in general, unless you want to use your nitro cell. But overall, I don't think that's too much of a big deal. I mean, I'd rather have a drone than a little shotgun, you know. Cade. Thank you, Ubisoft. I fucking hate that gun. That shotgun is so annoying, and I'm glad that it is finally getting nerfed, because especially in like higher level and rank games, people just have crazy aim and they will kill you. Like it was like a DMR, and I hope that now it's much weaker. And with Cav, I think that adding the holographic was good, and that overall we need more equipment in Siege. I mean, the last time I can remember something new besides like the shield rework was like maybe claymores. Honestly, claymores, impact grenades. Like, we need more new equipment to spice up the game, in my opinion. And yeah, that's basically all I have to say about these patch notes. Personally, I think that all of these are good, right? But I don't think that they are long term, especially Ying and Buck. Not long term. I feel like Ying will definitely need to be lowered back to 3, and I definitely feel like Buck deserves either his grenades back or some kind of utility other than claymores, right? I mean, he does have flash grenades, which are very, very useful, but overall, as an entry fragger, I feel like he needs his grenades back. That's just my opinion. I really want to know what you guys think, so make sure to comment down below. Make sure you voice your opinion to Ubisoft and see it somehow, you know? Comment down below, go on subreddits, right? You know, go on their Instagram, let them know, because they definitely do read those, and the community can really guide what happens to the future of Siege, and I think it's our responsibility to tell Ubisoft how we're feeling. So with that being said, I'm Crabdash. I hope you guys subscribe to my channel. We're almost at 400 subs, and yeah, let's dash to the next video.